Welcome to another review from Dive In. I've got Blair again with me because today I wanted to go over a little bit of video from cover situations. The way we can look at this is from a technical, tactical kind of scenario, and then look at some in-system stuff on side out, and then look at some high balls and some rebuild situations. Maybe you could share a little bit about what you're thinking in terms of your ready position and the ability to move.
Yeah, I mean, it'll depend also on the player and kind of the positioning. Sometimes when I'm in the deep court covering, I tend to be a little bit higher, ready to roam a little bit if I'm getting a deflection off the block. And then if I'm underneath the block, then I tend to be a little bit lower, just kind of ready for a quick reaction. And that would be my positioning. But for some other guys, some guys on our team, maybe they're just getting to a knee. Just being in a state of readiness is probably the most important.
I was thinking, it's not really necessary to be stopped. Like certain defensive positions, you kind of want to be stopped and ready. But in cover situation, it's not necessarily a bad thing if you're kind of floating, moving towards the attack, as long as you can accelerate or change direction really fast. So to me, it becomes more of, are you stable? Are you stable and able to react quick? Ultimately, from a cover scenario, you want to be able to rebuild an efficient attack, score your points. Part of that rebuild will be who's your most available hitter, likely. Do you still have a split, or do you have the middle? Then do you have a split? Are you back into a high ball scenario? Obviously, some other things, especially when you're looking at that video and stopping and pausing, we're going to see other things. So make sure that you feel free to comment on that stuff.
I think as a libero, I try to be involved in the cover as much as I can. And then just in the way of helping the other team, if I can get onto more covers, more rebounds, then everyone else is more available to attack. But also it's completely a team thing covering. Everyone has to be ready.
One of the things when I'm watching these clips is Marshall and you're really good at organizing the relationship between the sixth player and yourself, making sure who's in, who's back to cover most of the terrain.
Yeah, we can take a look at that depending on high ball situations, or kind of we go off if our pipe is involved or not, and then the relationship between six and the libero or the middle blockers. Just making sure we have someone deep and we have someone close to the ball as well. So I think let's take a look.
Also, the last thing I'll point out is that there will be some breakdowns. I just apologize in advance maybe to some of the guys.
don't get exposed.
Okay, and I'll make sure to do a critical analysis of myself real soon. Let's dive in here and take a look. We'll start with some side outs. Just a reminder that you need to be pausing when the setter has the ball. If not, you get into that whole, I'm watching the ball even when I review the video. And this pause when the setter has it, and again, when you're attacking, you can really see what's going on here. So we're in system, everyone's available. You just received. Nice scoop back in, and then a complete rebuild right away. Middle available.
Yeah. So right off the pass there, judging from the pass myself, I'll know that the pipe is going to be on, and then Duraco there will follow for pipe, and then hopefully be ready to cover the middle or follow the ball whichever direction it goes, and that's kind of my cue to stay 5.5 meters and roam for the deep stuff there, which I was able to pick up.
Right, so we've got, even in system here, we've got a lot. Just the back corner's probably not covered. Shawan in 4 and Nick in 2 swinging. Burke's just hitting in the middle with, like you said, Duraco on the pipe. Duraco's ready. He's there. His hands are kind of getting ready for a quick rejection. Nick and Show are looking at the block. That's one key technical thing that we can key in right now. You've got to be careful not to be watching the attacking of the player, but focused on the block to really see that rejection and where it goes. If you're watching the swinger,
the first intel of where the ball's coming off the rebound there. So that's something I'll do as soon as it's passed, it's out of the setter's hands. I'm just trying to track that ball off the opposing team's block right away.
Okay, next clip in a side out phase. So high reception zone 4, but we're still in system. We still got 4 attackers here. So at this point, you can see that you're kind of slowing up.
Yeah, I'm slowing up here, trying to just figure out where it's going to go. See if I got to fill in close to the opposite, and then Mar would stay deep, or if we're running pipe, then I'm kind of hovering in the backcourt here.
So we play middle. Everyone's keying in on the block. Mar after pipe, ready to pick that up. That's a nice pickup by Mar.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to be high ball situation here. You're neutral, ready to react.
Yeah, so this is a good one because Mar's on the ground here, so then I'll instantly fill in to try to be the first responder there on the distance set. And what's cool to notice here is Mar will stay deep, but kind of fill the middle of the court, and then you can follow TJ.
There, look at him either.
He'll kind of become the deep guy now.
Yeah, you can see he's watching you here.
Yeah.
Just to see that you're going in. Okay, so he slides over, and then look at his eyes, and look at Smooth here, and everyone's just keying in on the double block. Nice reaction. You want to comment here on your technique?
Yeah, so this one, depending from the situation, also I can't tell exactly, but sometimes if the ball is tight as well, I will read that and try to get even closer under the block if our guys are going to take a push into the block. And so here, yeah, I'm just right underneath trying to be the first guy on the ball, and it's just an overhead reaction, kind of just trying to keep the ball on our own side.
And I just noticed too, forgot to mention, look at TJ here in the back corner after the high ball set. Look at the responsibility here, coming back in, playing the deep, ready for the deep chase down. Just all around good work. And then Smooth.
Yeah, unfortunately Smooth gets put in a coffin there, but the cover system was working real nice.
Next clip here, siding out. A little bit zone 4. Pipe's not in on this, but Burks is on the 60 zone 4, which is interesting. And you see here, this is a technique I think that just want to point out when you talk about covering, a lot of the development of the cover is actually, the capacity of the cover is related to the intelligence of the attack. I mean, their state of readiness, covering your system, everything, but the smarter you're attacking, the more likely you're actually going to cover too. And Burks makes a nice play here. So do you want to just add like what your thoughts are on that?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a broken play, so kind of everyone is creeping in a little bit there, and Burks just with a nice little tip off the block, and he's the first one. He's reacting to that ball. I mean, somebody else also could have been there, but just in those quick moments, be sure, react to the ball yourself. And for all outside spikers, I mean, they're the first person who knows if it's going to be a rebound shot, once they have that idea in their head. So it's good for the spiker to not always depend on the receivers or the middle or setters, libero, to cover for them. If you can take it yourself, it's also a good play.
Next clip. Zone 2 in system. Here, let's go back up. I'm watching the ball again, so I want to go back and see what happens on the pipe. So Duraco's fighting it hard to get back in on pipe.
Yeah. Sometimes these are tough too. Like, there might not be pipe situation, but we'll still keep it as part of the system where he'll run the route and then follow the ball, and then Duraco is the first guy underneath here. And I'll stay deep as the libero and cover the deep court.
And that communication between you and the player in 6 is really something we have to be aware of and point out, because often you're mixing it up depending on who's available, who's not. And the goal always being, where's our opportunity to keep pipe, to keep that offense. And I just wanted to point out here, Burks already looking at the play. Let's see how he reacts after. Coming back, everyone's coming back. Slater as an offside blocker, ready to chase down something, maybe a little bit deeper, but then also understanding that he's really a big part of the next rebuild.
Yeah, a bit of a adaptation here between me and Walsh, just from where the reception was. Not really anyone in the middle of the court, but we're both a little bit higher, and we could react to that ball if we needed to.
Nice job from Dees to get that up quick. And then Burks here, quick to the net. This is something, we need to comment on. And look at how fast Lucas is able to understand what play is here. And just get up there quick. Oh, and then a nice chase down here. So look at that. You're watching the right area. You're at about 4.5 meters here.
Yeah, I think just seeing them go up for the joust, everyone's a little bit on alert. And then as soon as it comes off the block, I'm trying to be in a position where I can react, and I know if I can get on the ball, everyone else can be ready to spike. So I call that one early and chase it down. Good.
As well as look at Lucas, making sure he's available, and just by him being available and going hard for that play now, he holds the middle on the other side, and then we've got a nice one-on-one. This clip is just fantastic. This is going to be a while. Be patient at home, please, because there's just too many good things happening in this rally. Hopefully we can remember to touch upon all of them. Poland's unable to play the high ball. Brett brings it back, and now we're into a high ball situation from the beginning of this rally. Blair, I'll pause it each time on the attack, and you can kind of see re-see what's available, what's going on. And especially the relationship in this particular one about some auto covers, but also you and Nick working hard together to cover the court.
Yeah, so as that ball came over, Walsh played to me. We were in a high ball situation. Right away, play close to the net, and I'm kind of the first responder there following my high ball set. And then we get a cover with me and should have all of our spikers available.
Yeah, so we have a standing 31, but Nick, because he's deep and you were shallow, he's able to be available here.
Yeah, so what you'll see too is as I play that cover, I've already dropped back into deep cover because I'll know that Nick will be able to be on the pipe.
Right there, you see it. You're sliding back, restabilize.
Yeah, from there we'll change our roles a little bit. Nick will be a little bit closer, and I'll be on the deeper end of about 5-6 meters, middle of the court there. And then obviously Mar was the first one there. Didn't wait for Art to play it, just went and took it himself. We get another set there, and then you can just see Walsh. He's filling space. He's in the middle of the court, and he actually gets this next cover. Now after the right side set, Nick again had pipe, went close. I'll come behind. Walsh fills the middle, pops it up. Another high ball situation for us. I will follow close. Nick will fill behind. Art ready to go there as well. Now that relationship is important because now with Nick filling, he gets this next cover, which is over my head. Calls it. A little tight, so we got to give it away. We get it right back to the dig. Another high ball situation. Fill in. Nick stays a little bit deep. Walsh follows in as well. And we get the block out and the point.
Now that's a big rally. I just would point out here, guys, like at home and kids, like this is why you gotta cover so hard and win those big rallies. We've got one guy bent over, two guys bent over looking down, 3-4 guys looking down. They get the chance to block 3 or 4 times, and every time you're fighting, you're grinding it out. And I think that's really just such an important part of volleyball and the value in these games, the value of just winning those long rallies with multiple covers. Side out here, next play. In a direct high ball situation.
Yeah, so right away you can see here, Nick will take the high ball, but Steve Marshall will fill in tight, which is a good thing to notice because then on any cover we have with him, we should still have pipe available. So that's a good little switch from those two there.
Everybody here is ready to cover, and then Brett plays that over his head, and I think that's an important point to make, Blair, like you were saying before.
Yeah, I mean, Brett just reacting, playing this ball up, we can get the next set. I think unless he hears clear communication from someone else, even as the setter, it's important to react to any ball that we think we can cover, and then we'll set up another good swing.
Okay, so next clip here, we're playing France and VNL. So a little bit of a quick reception here. Middle still trying to be available. Pipe probably out. This is a great pickup by Marshall.
Yeah, you can see just ready, stable, balanced, maybe a little bit higher, not in that deep positioning, and then able to react and get a great cover that would have otherwise been a point.
Something to point out here is Lucas again really working hard to be available and then able to be used there on that play.
Yeah, one thing we haven't touched on too much that will come up in a lot of videos is some of these covers are, they're not pure reactionary. They're still defensive movements, but we're able to, put the ball in a good enough spot that as long as everyone can stay available, we have 3, maybe 4 options sometimes, and that's going to be important to make some transition points.
There's a defensive clip, high ball situation, 3-man block. Here you can see now is a good opportunity to point out the relationship between 6 and the libero.
Yeah, so with no pipe here, Nick can kind of stay back, and you can see right away Marshall putting his arm out, communicating, stay, stay, stay. I'll go tight, and he gets in there, goes right underneath the block. Walsh doing good job, setter, covering some space, filling the middle. Here, Nick will change with Darce just because, he's maybe after he makes the set, not able to turn and go so fast. Good communication from Nick there, and Steve will become the deep cover guy.
Side out situation in system zone 2. Pipe going hard, and then really working hard to get over to cover the hitter. This is a nice job by Ricky. Lepke here shoots over, picks up this ball. Darce shoots in and gets a nice play.
Yeah, that's really valuable. You can see the position 6 players after the pipe really working hard to get right underneath, especially on that distance set. Without that good push from Lepke there to get over there, that's obviously a point because with the pipe being on, Steve would be staying a little bit deeper. You can see he's pretty close because he was hovering just in case Lepke wasn't there, but great work from Eric there.
Next clip here, high ball situation. Now we'll point out the difference now is that maybe Eric didn't have a chance really to play in the system enough prior to playing in this game. And you see here on the high ball scenario, he's come in now to be shorter behind the cover, and now Marshall has to make the adjustment to go a little bit deeper, and we missed a chance here.
Yeah, like we said, it'll break down sometimes. So whether it was communication or what it was, having not the deep guy, Steve does good, like you said, to kind of fill. He probably senses Eric there and fills in. But if on the high ball situation, libero will get it under there, 6 stay deep, so we can try to keep that pipe available. We may have had a better chance at getting that cover.
Okay, next clip here, reception, we're in exclamative. Pipe is on, goes over, and we miss an opportunity here. And I think this is one that the guys would like to have back. Eric goes in, off the pipe, goes in sharp. Marshall is hanging back a little bit, which is good, but Lucas is just one step, prior we saw him turning rapidly and moving towards the attack. And this time he lets his guard down for 1 second, and he doesn't come towards the ball, and I think misses maybe an opportunity and then I think he realizes it.
Yeah, a little bit of obviously a tougher one. Eric going tight, Steve filling the middle, just again based off where Walsh kind of sets his stance there. No one really in the middle of the court, and then it's hard to pick someone at fault there. It's kind of maybe Eric could have reacted overhead. Maybe Lucas could have been a little more stable, turned in like a split second earlier ready, and then Darce just reacts.
So I think things to point out here is I had talked earlier about you could be floating towards the ball, but here maybe Eric is moving too fast, and at the point of contact from the block, you can see he's not in a balanced position. So although he's working hard to come for the cover, at this point he really needs to be more stable, like some type of more balanced position like Marshall or Brett or Duraco in this scenario. So because he's caught in the air, and now it's a little bit too late to adjust.